I was in the kitchen pouring myself a cup of coffee when my phone buzzed. I didn't rush to check it. I thought maybe it was another sale alert or a forwarded meme from Zara. But when I finally picked it up, I saw his name on the screen. Daniel, just one message. You are not coming with us to Europe. My mother prefers this vacation to be a family vacation only. I froze. I must have read it 10 times. Not coming with them. I looked around the room at the 3 neatly packed suitcases by the front door, one of them mine. I'd spent the past 2 weeks helping Daniel plan this trip, booking the hotels, organizing tours, even reminding him to get his mother's favorite spa booked in advance. And now I'm not invited. I sat down on the edge of the couch, my phone still in my hand. My fingers felt numb. The silence in the house grew louder, pressing against my ears. I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe he sent it to the wrong person. Maybe it was a joke. But no follow-up came, nothing. Just that one cold line. Not coming with us. Family vacation only. So that's what I am now. Not family. My mind went into overdrive. I started thinking about all the things I'd done for Daniel. I remembered standing in our garage 3 years ago, watching him break down because his startup was failing. He thought it was all over. Years of effort, gone. And I had stepped in without hesitation. I had taken the $700,000 my father left me when he passed and wired it straight to Daniel's account. I didn't ask for a contract. I didn't ask for shares. I just believed in him because that's what you do for family. But apparently I wasn't his. I stood up and walked into his office. Everything in there had been bought with the money I gave him. The custom leather chairs, the framed map of the world with pins on all his business trip destinations. Even the espresso machine he loved bragging about. Every inch of it whispered, Sophie built this. And now I was being told to stay behind like some forgotten assistant. I opened our group chat with his mom and his sister. Sure enough, messages had been flying around for days. Photos of packed bags, nail appointment selfies, jokes about matching outfits. Not once had they mentioned anything about me not coming. They just acted like I never existed. And Daniel, he didn't even have the decency to speak to me in person. Just a text message. I set my phone down and walked upstairs. Our bedroom was spotless. I had even laid out his passport and tickets on the dresser last night for both of us. Stupid me. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the carpet. For a while, I didn't cry. I just sat there feeling everything and nothing at the same time. My heart was heavy like it was sitting in a bucket of wet cement. Then slowly something inside me shifted. I started thinking about everything I had given up. My dream of starting a bakery gone. I had put that money into Daniel's dream instead. My weekends spent working on his marketing plan. My voice pushed aside every time his mother made a snide comment and he told me to just ignore it. And now they were flying off to Europe without me to my dream vacation while I sat here like a maid they forgot to fire. No, I wasn't going to cry. I stood up and looked at my reflection in the mirror. My eyes were dry, but there was something else in them. A quiet storm building. If I wasn't family enough to go on this trip, then maybe I wasn't family enough to keep helping them live in comfort either. Maybe it was time I reminded Daniel who built this house. And what happens when the builder walks away? I wish I could say the text was the first red flag, but deep down it wasn't. The truth is the cracks had been forming for a while. I just kept ignoring them, hoping if I smiled hard enough, cooked enough dinners, or stayed out of the way, things would smooth themselves over. But that trip, that Europe trip, that was my idea. I had brought it up 6 months ago, a surprise vacation for Daniel after his business hit a new milestone. He'd worked hard, and I thought we both deserved something special, a reward for everything we'd sacrificed. At first, he was excited. We talked about Italy, Greece, and maybe even a stop in France. I remember the way his eyes lit up when I said we could ride a gondola in Venice. I imagined us walking cobbled streets, eating fresh pastries, laughing like we used to. And then his mother found out. At first, it was just subtle. Oh, that sounds lovely. I've always wanted to see the Amalfi Coast, she said during a family dinner. I didn't mind. I even suggested we invite her. Then came his sister. Same thing. Soon, the trip I had planned for 2 became a group tour for 5, then 6. Suddenly, I was being asked to move my schedule around to make it easier for everyone else. I was told not to book the hotels yet, that Evelyn, Daniel's mom, had better taste. Every decision started to go through her. And Daniel, he said nothing. At first, I brushed it off. I told myself it was just a vacation. That it didn't matter. Told myself I'd still have fun because I'd be with my husband. But things only got worse. I started getting left out of conversations. They made a new group chat and I wasn't added to it. Zara showed me screenshots that Daniel's sister accidentally sent her. Dinner plans being made for the family, spa days booked, excursions scheduled, all without me. I asked Daniel about it once. He shrugged and said, "It's just easier to plan without too many voices." Too many voices? I was the one who started the whole idea. Still, I bit my tongue. I didn't want to cause drama. I didn't want to give Evelyn more reasons to say I was being overly sensitive. I told myself once we were on the trip things would feel better, but deep down I started noticing the pattern. Evelyn never liked me. From the day I married Daniel, she treated me like I had stolen something from her, like I wasn't good enough for her precious boy. Too independent, too opinionated. She once told me to my face that I wasn't the kind of woman who makes a man feel needed. Daniel laughed when she said it, laughed. And now here we were, me sitting at home with my passport and suitcase ready. Them on a plane to Europe, sipping champagne and smiling for the camera. I wasn't invited because Evelyn didn't want me there. That's the truth. And Daniel, the man I gave everything to, didn't fight for me. He didn't even tell me to my face. He just sent a message and walked out the door. That was the moment I stopped pretending. The moment I stopped defending their behavior in my head. The moment I saw it all for what it really was. They never saw me as part of the family. I was a wallet, a helper, a background character in their perfect little play. But not anymore. If they could go halfway around the world and forget me like I was nothing, then I could remind them just how much I mattered. The morning after they left for Europe, I didn't cry. I didn't sleep much either. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying everything that had led to this moment. The trip, the text, the years I gave away like candy, just trying to prove I was enough for people who never really saw me. By sunrise, I was done feeling sorry for myself. I got up, made a cup of tea, and sat at the dining table with my laptop. I typed in the name of the law firm that handled Daniel's business incorporation 3 years ago. I remembered because I was the one who found them. I even paid the consultation fee. When Daniel's business was on the verge of collapsing, I stepped in with $700,000, the full inheritance from my father, every single penny. He was desperate. Banks had rejected his loan. He was behind on payroll. His lease was about to be terminated. He was drowning. And I saved him. I wired the money to him that very night. No questions asked, no prenup, no agreement, just trust. But sitting there in the quiet that morning, I realized something terrifying. I never signed anything. No partnership agreement, no loan terms, no ownership papers. It was all verbal. I had always told myself it didn't matter. We were husband and wife. What's his is mine. What's mine is his. But now, that thought made my stomach turn. I scheduled a meeting with a lawyer Zara had used during her divorce. Her name was Nena. Sharp, smart, and the kind of woman who doesn't blink twice when someone says betrayal. I sat across from her in a glass office downtown. She took one look at the folder I brought with transaction records, emails, and screenshots and asked gently, "Do you want to fight for ownership, or are you ready to burn it down?" I didn't answer right away because I didn't know yet. I just knew I wasn't going to be silent anymore. Na flipped through the documents and nodded. "You're not listed anywhere in the business structure, not as a partner, not as an investor, not even as a consultant." I felt a sting in my chest like being told I was invisible again. She continued, "But he never protected his assets properly. His business is vulnerable. The name is his. But a lot of the paperwork, especially the leases and vendor accounts, are still in your name. That gives you leverage." That word leverage. For the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of power return to my spine. Na laid out my options. I could sue. I could file a marital claim. Or I could act while he was abroad, while he was distracted. I could quietly begin the process of pulling my name, my access, and my support from the structure. "You gave him $700,000, she said. "You gave him a brand, a platform, and a business that is now worth at least triple that. You didn't lose it, you just never collected your receipt." I left the office with a new fire in my chest. Daniel thought I was too soft, too quiet to ever push back.